It's about knee length. Yes.
Any preference for fabric weights for the cloaks?
Within reason, heavier is better. And I'm
More of a
going to
wool,
get into that.
weight wool.
Yeah. I will have you guys all come check out these cloaks.
A little more out of the way over here.
So, yeah, a bigger cloak is better. Cloak is area denial. Visual and factual area denial. If you've got a lightweight cloak, it's a little more visual than it is factual. If you've got weight to your cloak, and especially if you use fabrics, it becomes a huge area denial. One of the things that Fabrics talks about is that depending on where and when you're at, you can't always carry a dagger and pen. You walk around with this and local constabulary might have a word with you. In earlier periods, it's kind of like how walking around with a sword and a buckler meant you were looking for trouble. So you couldn't carry, there were certain German states where you could not carry a buckler if you had a sword, because it meant you were looking for trouble, you were a ruffian. But as Fabrics points out, we've almost all got one of these, especially if you're in northern colder areas. These are useful. So the first thing is, we see a lot of people, they hold their cloak in a nice fist. They pick it up, and even if they wrap it over their arm, they've got a fist. Does everybody see the target that this presents? How many of you, fencing a cloak fighter, have stabbed them in the fist? Don't do this. Best way to hold it, and Logos told me about it, but I had already seen a thing. It was an Italian, it was a HEMA cloak class for Bolognese in Italy. I saw a YouTube video on years ago, and it talks about how to take off your cloak and use it. Now the Bolognese, they're going to wrap it a couple of times so they can help deal with cuts. You can wrap it a couple of times here. You can also just have one or two lengths hanging. The way he talks about drawing the cloak
on my arm,
was that you would draw your sword,
way after I was dead.
pop the clasp on your cloak, reach
I'm
up
trying to
with
make
4
you
fingers,
uncomfortable.
pull it off,
I hope you realize that. That's
wrap
the
it
point
around.
what I'm doing right now.
Now,
Because if you're going to smack
have
me
my
with it, you're
hand
going to do it when I'm pushing.
in this position.
Do you see that I'm doing
This
that?
offers you no target to stab at.
Okay.
You can go for the oblique, but at that point, this is no different than me using my hand like I
don't
would
dial it up to 160.
if it had nothing in it.
Yeah.
The cloak section in Fabrics isn't particularly huge, because one of the things he points out is that you can use this the same as you would use a dagger or your open hand as far as defense. This is where the area denial thing comes in.
Good job.
This one that I've got, my lady had done years ago, and it's got shoulder seams, so I use that as an easy place to grab it.
That's the biggest trickiness with
You're going to grab your cloak in
larger
the open
weapon
hand.
against somebody fighting a dagger.
You're going to hold the thumb down,
No,
and
just
you're
that
going to
once
wrap
we
it
close
over.
the distance,
As you get
when
the
I'm
weighting of
here,
your cloak, that little flourish,
I have control of the fight and you're out of control.
you walk out and your
And so-
opponent's standing there and you do that
Making sure
flourish.
that
At that point, I tend to like to
you
kick
have
it back
answers.
up
You've
onto
got
the
toys in your toilet.
elbow.
The important thing
Because
is
Fabrics
not
does talk about that it is
to
a
freak
good
out and
defensive from hand
not.
to elbow.
Yay.
It also gives me more visual denial. If I hit Fabrics and I am here,
I've been hearing a lot of different
there's a
things.
whole lot of lines that get suddenly lost. So now, I'm blocking these outside lines,
Was that stiff?
and I'm really only giving you the line over the cloak.
They might ear rape.
Okay.
So that's why I
If
mentioned it.
you try to attack over the cloak, well, I raise my hand a little.
That's what I want you not to do.
If you try to go for the leg and I'm not in a
I'm going to try
position where I
this one
really
more
want to
bout
deal
with
with that,
this
maybe I'm stepping
configuration,
forward,
because I think that might be
I can
the
just
problem.
drop that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
Throw
Try
test
as
it.
much as you can. We can do it 5
So,
times in a row if you want.
Cloak is
I will tell you these
fairly
are
simple.
Okay.
You hit me
That's
really
like
hard.
my general
I like
5-minute spiel that I give people when they're like, how do you make cloak more effective? That's how. Beyond that,
How is that on stiff?
the size of the
edge
cloak,
of. But part of it is that
there
your
is a
sword
point when
is
it gets
just
too
firmer,
large and doesn't
but
really
you had
offer enough
control.
returns.
So good.
My mod cloak is a rather large Irish cloak. They were ridiculously large in period.
Do you want to just fight
They
it
wrap
out?
nicely.
Take your
They are
death?
very
And that
conspicuous
way
in
you
the
get to
fact
keep
that they
pushing
did not
instead of
use
stopping?
a clasp,
As
and
in,
that they were
As in,
renowned
if I
for
kill you,
being able
you
to
can
fight
keep
in this thing wrapped around them. I have tried fighting with it as a regular cloak to use, and honestly, it's fine.
I want to take death.
It doesn't
but
really
don't
give me
use
a
it
heck of a
on
lot
the
more
Okay.
than using any of these
Yeah,
two.
I'm trying to.
So there is a point when it can get too large if
I
you're
want
not
to make
comfortable
sure
with
that
it.
you're getting to
Um,
move around as much.
Master Remy and these did an ANS project
In
on
that case, yes, let's do one.
how effective a cloak
So
is.
maybe about another
You've got a
couple
ballistics
of
gel arm.
other people.
He put the cloak over it and used a sharp. Did various stabbings, cuttings, etc. If you can find that, because I apologize for not having that in advance. It's got some great information on the reality of the cloaks that we use. By and large, cloaks are reasonable cut through. I mean, if your opponent starts sawing on your arm, okay, take it. If you get stabbed through it, reasonably, take it. If you can feel it hit your arm, you probably don't want to be dealing with it anyway.
Trying to disengage
as far as
here.
and I'll get into the short one.
I'm trying to disengage without just buffing you with my ring.
But you're not buffing me, which is
Don't
good.
keep it here unless you're out of distance. Yep. Because I can stab you through it.
That was her.
You want to keep it out, the same as you would keep your offhand out. You wouldn't keep your hand back in here. Fabrice does keep it here sometimes because, well, dominance with the sword. I can
And I'm
still
being up in your
get
business.
it out there if I need to.
I'm trying to make you
But
stab me.
if you keep your dagger, your buckler, your cloak, anything like, if I keep this in here, it only does me so much good. I have to really move
I'm
it.
getting.
It does me much better out here.
Good.
Same thing. Cloak.
Yes.
Cloak is going to do me much better out here
Because I think
than it is here or in here. Because
There's been a
especially
couple
you
of
see a lot of
times
fencers when they get tired and they're doing one of the more upright stances like Capoeira or Giante.
yes, and I've just kind of gone a little bit hands-off and just
And
let
at this
myself
point,
be killed rather than
that cloak
I
doesn't
could
matter
tell I was on the ground.
because
I'd like you to stab me, preferably in the face.
you will see that.
While you're moving.
Okay.
Now,
Because doing it holding still doesn't.
you're the
Yep.
front here.
Okay.
So I'm trying to leave
And
you
even if he can get towards
Understood.
my body
also
closer,
making you run around and feel
I
like
can do that.
Got it.
I'm a sad panda.
And now I'm in line with that cloak because it's
yeah, you should. Come get me.
not really going to work well.
There we go.
That's why the heavier is better. You can use a linen cloak. You might have to worry about somebody thrusting and then pushing through it.
Yeah.
This little hat, because some of us have them. This one's going to get kitted out for my cortisone kit. But even if you've got something this small,
You saw me. I died.
grab it close to the collar, close to the edge. You can still get a single wrap over it. It's not a lot, but even this. In fabric, I can still push that right. I can use my hand because it's not easily going to cut through that in a single pass. So it's still somewhat useful, even at this size. These are better. Because, like I said at the beginning, area denial.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
With this little one from a proper stance, okay, it's definitely going to help. But if I'm in something more Giante Capoeira,
I know it's
it's
so
not
good
covering
already.
as much as I may want to. So you might need to get a little bit more creative. That does not mean whipping it around and trying to catch their blade. Because wild attacks do us nothing but get us killed. Any questions before I start kind of grabbing people and doing more practical so you can see what these cloaks are like?
Yeah, I do have a quick question.
Absolutely.
So when I fight against someone with a cloak, I kind of notice that they can't move their foot fast, and maybe they might have
little bit easier for people to see.
Yeah, so when he holds up his cloak like that, and I maybe make an attack out here, I notice his sword can't cross over his cloak. If I make this attack out here, that hand parry becomes a lot harder. So like, I was wondering if there's things to like mitigate that limitation.
Since you have volunteered with a question, my friend.
Yes.
Come.
Yes.
Yay!
So, we're going to start on the outside one. No, you're fine there. We're going to start on the outside one so that people can see, and then we'll switch around so that people can see. So, you were talking about when you're out here, cloak can only do so much. This will come up with lefties too. Yes, it is more difficult out here. Out here, I'm mostly going to be depending on this, but he's got that flank line there. So what I have to do there, whether I'm upright or the fabric is at the front of me, is if he tries to go there, I can use that leading edge of the cloak to kind of deal with that. I can also kind of try and, as you go for that flank again, push forward with it. I'm going to roll those shoulders a lot to catch in. But honestly, I'm going to do the same thing with my open hand. I'm going to do the same thing underneath with a dagger. So it's the same motions you're going to do with the other things that you would use with the cloak. It's not going to be as easy, especially dealing with lefties, because they're going to want to keep this point alive. So, can you push it?
Look good.
Cheers.
So yeah, in here, he's really got that open line from the flank. So yeah, what I'm going to try and do is as he makes an attack, I'm going to twist my torso. And while it's going to bring my blade back some, I've already got this closed out with my cloak. So from here, what do I need to do to gain range? Well, maybe I step forward and I come in underneath or out to his side or wherever I need to. So that's how you're going to mitigate the one on the outside. The inside, your question was where? About coming out there? Again, I'm going to use the outside edge of that cloak. My hand is in this plane. I have turned it over to use the cloak edge, and now it's dealer's choice.
I have extra holes.
Yep. One further one on the other side again. Come back to that one. Yeah, keep it right-handed. You had mentioned if you're like if I'm down low and you throw over, so I can still get this line here. I'm just going to shift this probably to somewhere between the bastard 2 and 3, because from here, look where my sword's pointed. I can step right in, and I have covered. I'm not worried about this. And honestly, if you were to try and come over the top, I'm going to try and do something in there. Yeah. So. That answer the question?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just so everybody talk about because I noticed that as you came to the outside, you turned your phone over, so it was, I think so we've been pretty close.
Yes. Pretty sure. Sure.
It was a bit form fitting.
So I can keep it flat here. Part of my reason for turning it over is because if I'm here and you really give some extra weight into that push, not something that we can do so much, I can grab this. So that's why my hand ends up rolling over. Because also, from here, even if I don't grab it, this gives me better coverage. So if I'm flat here, let's turn so they can see this. Nope, over there. So if I'm flat here, it's easier for him to come over the top. If I turn this flat, I've now made it more difficult for him to get around. It's like essentially making a quillen on my cloak. So now he can't do that. And yes, from here, in a street duel or something, I can come forward and remove that. And then dissuade him from continuing
additional breathing techniques.
Yes. Does anyone else have any specific questions before we get into let's handle some folks and see what they feel like? No? All right. So I have 4 cloaks.